Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you. Our region's business, improving our economy, creating jobs, and strengthening communities. Innovation, collaboration, transformation, and the people making it happen. Join us as we take a closer look at our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, how mental modeling can fine-tune your marketing. Plus a field guide to business ethics, making the right decision in real-world situations. But first, PowerLink celebrates more than 20 years of growing businesses in our region by providing them with advisory boards. How does it work, and would it make sense for your business? Well, here with the answers are Anita, Brattina, the president and CEO of PowerLink. Dale Conrath is a current business owner. He has an advisory board through the organization. And AJ Drexler is a PowerLink advisor and an owner who formerly had a couple of advisory boards over the years. And good to have you all here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Anita, I think it's been about 20 years since we had an update on PowerLink in the show. Back then it was all brand new. But for folks who don't know the organization, what is it all about?
So PowerLink started in 1992 to give advisory boards to women-owned businesses. And the whole concept was bring together people from the community, people who had founded companies, corporate executives, into a room with an owner like AJ or like, not Dale at the time, but
yeah, it was mostly focused on women-owned
women.
businesses at that
and
time.
Our goal was to serve 1 or 2 women a year and help them grow their businesses.
25 years now, so how many businesses have participated?
So we've helped over 300 in this region. Wow. And most of them women-owned companies until about 2 years ago. And we are really proud of what we've done, and we have about 800 volunteers now who serve on these boards, and we are growing businesses every day. It's pretty exciting.
That is really exciting. AJ, how about your perspective? So you had a couple of these boards along the way as you built and then sold a couple of companies. How did that work? What kind of a difference did it make for you?
Well, I think what happens for a lot of entrepreneurs in particular, they're good at something. That's why they're entrepreneurs. They're building a company at whatever they're good at. They're not necessarily, experts in finance or operations or some of the aspects of marketing. So being able to be really good at what you're good at as an entrepreneur and then having the support of people who are experts at finance and some of the other aspects of running a business becomes really important. When I was interviewed for my first panel, there was somebody on the board who was interviewing me who said, in the years after my PowerLink panel, I got 25% growth every year for the next 5 years. I walked out and I said to my partner, we'll do 30. And we did.
And you did?
For 5 years.
Made that big a difference for you?
Yes, it made that big of a difference. Yeah. Really putting the structure in place that you just don't know. As an entrepreneur, you get to a certain point, and I think that's one of the benefits of PowerLink. It's taking organizations who've already have achieved some level of success. They're not startups, they're not starting from nothing, but they already know that they have issues. I mean, it takes a while to figure out what you don't know.
Sure,
so.
And then so it's really about accelerating growth and making these businesses even more successful. And now you're doing it for guys too?
So what we actually did is decided that we were not going to license the program just exclusively to one organization. And so we now have 31 partners across Western Pennsylvania. A lot of them the SBDCs that
small
are
business development centers scattered around.
So who are at Pitt and Duquesne and at IUP. So IUP was our first small business development center that we started working with, and Dale was our first customer. So he had been working with the SBDC, and we asked them, give us clients who've reached a certain level, just like AJ said, and are trying to get to the next point of growth and are still struggling. And so IUP actually has referred us about 10 clients who are all in some stage of either getting a board or we're putting a board together.
And so that's kind of how the guys got involved in getting this kind of support. Dale, what's your business that you've been building?
The name of my company is Arctic Blast Covers. I build thermal jackets for banking equipment, ATMs, night deposits, cash deal drawers, and the undercounters in the drive-up where the deal drawers are.
Okay.
the cold leaches into the building severely.
So these are covers on the inside of the building to protect the people inside from the cold draft from those doorways and whatever to the outside.
From that equipment, exactly.
Okay.
Then it also gives them an energy savings because now it slows down your constant HVAC cycling, because now you're pulling in your heat that you're trying to maintain and you're not chilling it off right away.
Yeah, well, it sounds like one of those great ideas. It's one of those, why didn't anybody ever think of that before ideas? So why do you need this kind of advice? It sounds like a no-brainer. What are you getting out of the PowerLink Advisory Board?
Well, what I've gotten out of the PowerLink Advisory Board is, one, they helped me come up with walk-away numbers so that I could leave my current job and pursue this. Two is, the other thing that I have received from it is that Anita sits on my board. She's been a big influence in helping me when I go and do meetings with these banks. Like last year, I had a meeting with Fifth Third Bank. Anita was on vacation. She called in and conference called while I was there, and she was in on the meeting as well.
Wow, so you bring kind of the credibility and as well as the guidance and the advice and the experience of those board members right into the meeting with you in some cases.
That is correct.
Yeah, AJ, you're now an advisor to companies. So what do you get out of it? That's more time you have to put in to do that kind of thing.
You know, that's true. I think learning their businesses and helping them grow gives you the same sort of satisfaction in a different way that you got from doing it in the first place. You know, I think it takes a lot of a commitment on the part of the owner to really, you know, I used to say it's like being dressed down to your skivvies every quarter when they come in and give you the, you know, the hard cold truth of business.
Sure.
And you learn it that way. But I think being an advisor, helping somebody else get through that process and, you know, hit their first million, and then hit their third million, and then hit their 10th million, that's very exciting.
That's the deal, talking about paying it forward. So Anita, if there's a business owner out there, they got a going concern, they're struggling a little bit, how do they get a hold of you? How do they get plugged into this?
You can go to powerlink.org.
Okay.
We have our own website. Our partners are all over the city, so if you just go to our website, you can find us and call, and we'll hook you up with the program that's in your region. And then we'll qualify you to figure out exactly what you need and the kinds of advisors you need.
Very cool. Well,
Can I piggyback one statement
real quick,
on there?
we're out of time. Yeah.
Don't wait until you have an issue. It's about growth. If you're at $1 million, this program can get you to 5.
That's a good note to end on. Okay, AJ Drexler, thank you so much. Dale Conrath, Anita Brattina from PowerLink. Really appreciate it. Congratulations on 25. Yeah. Next up, making your marketing more effective through mental modeling, a strategy that's grounded in research developed right here in our region. Stay with us.